Yo,
Yo, what's up, bro? How you doing,
yo.
man?
Good. I had to run to the bathroom real quick. My bad.
No, you're cool. All good. Well,
What's
dude,
up?
welcome back to the show, man. This is number six. So
Six?
number
Is it
six.
really?
It's number six. I went and looked this morning. I was like, I think this is like the third or fourth time, and I was like, six. Jeez.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, man. Last time you were here, we were on a crappy iPad, then just regular computer. Now we've got all this new setup.
You
It's
got the whole setup?
new setup. It sounds
You know what I'm
good. It looks
saying?
good. It looks better. So, welcome to the new improved show, man. Thanks for coming back on, dude.
Did you move?
What?
Did you move?
No, I didn't move. I just moved offices. Moved my
Okay.
studio over a different bedroom. So, it's way different than it was before.
Okay. Good. That's good. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
man.
can. I don't really use Zoom. I only really use Zoom so we could do our the show on Zoom. Other than that,
Yeah,
I don't really
yeah.
use it. Okay.
Me neither. I kind of faded out of Zoom. Kind of, I guess, kind of when the world kind of faded out of Zoom for a while because we'll do those on like office meetings and stuff. But here, I usually just use StreamYard. It's easier, it's faster, a
Yeah.
lot more. It gives me like the OBS vibe, kind of a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So man, look, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna be very respectful of your time. I know I asked for an hour, so we're gonna try to stick with the hour.
Okay.
Um, but what I did is I went and I asked questions, and we did this last time. So I've got questions for us. I know we were going to come on here before, and we were going to do the best games of the year last year. Our schedules
Right.
were absolutely crazy. So
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to do that this time. I think we're just going to answer questions and just have a talk. But we're also going to put our best games in here because there's a question about that.
Okay.
So let's start out with the first question. But before we do that, Chase, I want to congrats to you and thanks everybody for listening. The last show you did was the highest rated show we did of that year. What did I tell you
What?
it was? It was like, hang on, let me go look. I think it was like 300,000 downloads.
No way.
It was 270,000 downloads last 2022.
What?
Crazy, man. I
That's
was like,
crazy.
what? Yeah.
I
And
don't know it. Okay.
I
You know what I'm
don't
saying?
know. I don't
W's?
know. Well, here we go. Here we go. W's, nothing
Okay.
but W's. All right. This first question is coming from Marianne in Georgia, and she wants to know you both took small breaks from your channels. Are you
Mhm.
guys now back in full swing? So I took a small break just because it was burnout, man. Burnout. It was because when you constantly do this and you're back and forth all the time, it just kind of, you know what I mean? You get jaded with it. And so it's kind of like, I'm just going to take a mental break because I was like almost having mental breakdowns. My anxiety was getting the best of me. And so I took a long break last year. I even thought about quitting. But
Yeah.
what about you? When did you took a break? I don't guess I noticed maybe.
Yeah. Without getting into too many details,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I
I
did
got
have
you.
some some stuff
Uh
to
huh.
take care of for a couple months. But as far as burnout, I've experienced burnout several times,
Yeah.
going all the way back to probably 2016. It's just, the conversation about it being like harder than
Mm,
the other jobs is, to me, is ridiculous. Because this is much easier, but it's a different kind of stress. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Right.
Because you constantly are trying to measure up to previous episodes, videos,
Mm,
series,
mm,
and like the platforms constantly change, and you always got to worry. Like, you get real self conscious about, like, are people going to like this? You know what I mean? And you
mm.
really kind of you make things harder on yourself mentally by doing this. And then lastly, like, it's like I a lot of people have teams.
Yeah.
They just record. Then they have the two editors and three thumbnail people and YouTube strategists and all this stuff, which is smart. That's really, if you can do it, it's probably the
Hmm.
best way because it relieves a lot of that stress from you when you have all these people that make basically a machine, and then you just focus on the parts that you want to do. But you know, when you don't have all of that, like you're going to find yourself like some days, man, I just really like dread having to edit videos, and I edit like 10 out of time. So, you know, I be in here looking scruffy after like 3 days. You know what I'm saying? It looks crazy, but yeah, burnout has happened a few times, and it's good to take little breaks because it makes it hard.
It makes it hard because like you, I'm sure you do it by yourself. I do it by myself. So it's like I'm constantly booking guests and I'm constantly editing and putting stuff together. You're constantly trying to find new games to play, playing them, editing them. And then along that you have like the best of, and I'm sure that takes god awful amount of time to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just when that burnout hits, do you get scared for a little bit? Because like when I took a break last year, I didn't miss it. Like I took like a 3-month break and I was like, you know what? I don't miss the podcast. And I was like, I got scared because I was like, this is kind of my livelihood. It's kind of how I make a living.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no. You know what I mean? Like what's going to happen if I do not want to get back into the game?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been there before. But you know, you have all these like wonderful people that watch and listen, and like it's like every time you come back, they're still there. Now, for a lot of people, that's not the case. You know what I mean? People leave and they come back, and like their audience is just like completely gone. And,
it's gone. Yeah.
You know, you always worry about that because you don't know how these platforms are going to push your content out for you. All you can do is make it. You know what I mean? And after that, you got to kind of hope that things line up for you. So, you know, I have maybe like once or twice. Like I think the longest break I ever took legitimately was after some family loss in 2019. I ended up like not posting for almost 2 months on my first channel and like 3 or 4 weeks on my second one. That was by far the longest break. I was super worried about when I got back, but it was all good.
Like I don't want to get too personal with you, Chase, but I do kind of want to understand behind it. So let's just how long of the month did you lose? Like a 2-month break you took last year?
No, well, I'll call it a break, but it was so little content that went out that it felt like that.
Okay.
I was putting out episodes here and there walkthrough wise, so that it wasn't a complete 2 months or 1 month or whatever, but it wasn't like, you know, it might be like 2 videos a week or something like that. On a good week, I'm putting out at least 10, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And then on my other channel, I think maybe I did like maybe 2 videos in that time, you know what I mean? Just basically whatever I had time. Like it went from me being able to work full days to maybe being able to work 1 hour every 3 days total or something like that. So yeah.
And so when you did you see a drop in viewership, or did it kind of like stay neutral? Did you gain more?
It's really random. I mean, I've seen drops. I've taken breaks and had views go up. I don't really look at views that much. If you start, what I do is if I say, okay, I'm going for like, what's my low end? Like everybody has a low end that they usually get. So it's like, all right, if I get that, I'm cool. If I get close to that, I'm cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
You start to look at views and you're trying to like keep, you'll be good for a while, but after a while, that's just going to really bother you. So, you know.
Yeah, I had to stop looking at the at the stream numbers. I had to. I was like, because I would have an idea, and I'm like, what's the worst they're gonna do? Not listen? Then I just don't have to do it again. But then when I would start with these ideas, instead of having guests, just having like these, like I do these versus series, or like I take one thing and verse it against another, and they did good for a while, and then they dropped. And then I went back with another guest, and it was like the numbers dropped intensely. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stop looking from now on until the very final year, and then I can tally up everything and see what hits the most and what to focus on next year.
Yeah.
That's best thing.
That's probably the best. And then, you know, when you first start doing content creation, you're just having fun. You know you're not going to make any money. And like when I started this, people weren't really making money anyway. You know what I mean? That wasn't it. There was like one network, like everybody was just on here. You know what I mean? So you want to have that. Now, I'm not going to say never look at numbers because you gotta. The best thing to do is you do what you know works a certain percent of the time, and then you do what you want to do a certain percent of the time, so that you feel like you can do a little bit of both, as opposed to just doing what the fans want. So you do that. That's how you get stuck playing, Fortnite every day, all day. You don't really want to play it, or 2K24, or any, like, if you really focus on numbers, you are going to find yourself stuck. And you can watch streamers and you can tell when they're not really having fun with the game. So.
All right. Yeah. Let's go to the next question. If for those that are watching on YouTube or wherever, these questions are going to pop up on the screen. So here's the next one. Bradley and Boston wants to know, you both watched lots of movies. What were your favorites last year that you'd recommend?
Ooh. Easy for me.
Okay.
Oppenheimer and the second part of the Spider-Verse. Okay,
so you're a Spider-Verse fan, right? I'll be honest with you. Spider-Man's my favorite comic book character, favorite superhero brought to the screen. I'm not a fan of the Spider-Verse movies, man. I don't know what it is. Like, they're good for what they are, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I just like when I go to watch one, I'm like, man, I'm just not really into it. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me, but they're good for. I mean, they're good, but it's just for me. I would stick with Oppenheimer. That blew me out of the water when I went and watched it in the theaters. Have you seen the Iron Claw yet, Chase?
Not yet.
About the Von Erichs, man.
I'm going to.
That's
got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, I do too. That's great. That one, and then I would have to give it John Wick 4. I think John Wick 4 was pretty good for a supposedly final chapter, but
they already confirmed.
Already
confirmed another one.
What? Wait, there's a fifth one?
I don't know. Well, okay. I don't want to spoil anything, right? You've seen it. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a situation that happened, and somebody's family member is a revenge arc still open.
Right.
I think they're doing something with that. I don't know if this is an HBO series or something like that.
Is it gonna be with John Wick? How?
I hope not.
I hope not, because if they do what we're both thinking they're gonna do with the fifth one, I'm gonna be out. Like, these are some of the best movies I've ever seen. I'm gonna be out if they if they do what they do, the horror villains.
Update. Yeah. February 26th, John Wick 5 is officially in development. This is according to IMDb and several other websites. So
okay. I can't hate, but I don't know how they're gonna do it. So unless they do a prequel, they could do a prequel. Now, I would love to see a prequel pre-John Wick 1. Figure out how to become such a badass assassin. I would love to see that if that's the route they're going to go. But I don't know how they can make it after the fourth one, honestly.
They'll shoehorn Hollywood, video game industry. They'll shoehorn whatever they can. If they feel like there's still milk left because we keep going to the theater or streaming it, they're going to continue. That's the era we're in. They're going to look at numbers. They're going to say, okay, we could get us another one. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Did you see the Hunger Games prequel by chance?
I did.
Okay. So, that book wasn't written until like 2020. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then they did the movie.
Did you like the prequel to Hunger Games?
It's not that I didn't like it. I did like it. I really like the original, I think it's 4 movies. I like those more. That's kind of hard to follow up.
Well, it's also, I also found it confusing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I went twice. Things missing. I went twice to the theaters. I went to the first time and I was like, maybe I was just tired. I didn't understand it. I went a second time with friends and I was like, I don't understand what happened, what they were trying. I don't understand how, the ruler, John, I don't know how he is now why he hates the game so much, why he does this, why he's a villain. They didn't really tackle that much in the movie. I didn't feel. That's just me.
Yeah, there's I mean the books, the books typically do better with filling in details.
Yeah.
The problem, if you watch a lot of movies, you become really good at paying attention. Your average moviegoer, they can just brush stuff past and people won't know. But for people who really pay attention, you know what I mean? Because when I watch movies, it's not just I'm looking at like actor performances, lighting, you know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. That's why, I usually go just beyond it. Was it good or bad? A lot of times there's holes and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know. There's plenty of things that I just don't understand the connection to on there.
Right.
Like it
And
was
even the book, I read the book to try and understand, right? Like, and then you go
and you read the book.
And I read the book, and I go on the book, and I go, I don't understand how this matches with the actual Hunger Games, the original. I'm like, I don't understand how
I understand how it
coincide with each other.
No, I completely understand how they're tied together as far as that. I had an issue with Snow's development. I didn't see enough that would have him be as heartless as he is.
Exactly.
On the new ones. I think they needed 2 movies for this. The other ones, they really expanded it. I think they needed a little more screen time for this one, but I don't think they thought people would see 2 of them, so they just shoehorn one.
But Chase also thought this. I also thought I was watching 2 different movies with this one. The first act is totally different than the second half. Totally different.
Yeah. And it's most people think the second half was where the fall off started, and the first half was really good.
No, that's for me. That's it. I think it fell off the second half where you feel like where she wins the games and they run away to get. It was just I thought it was good, but it was still a mess at the same time.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It felt like it was like though it wasn't rushed. It felt like it was rushed.
Yeah,
I mean it was a 3-hour movie, and it was like.
They definitely needed. They needed to, because I mean, I don't know. He just. You know what? Without sticking on this for too much longer, like I just felt like they accelerated his change too fast. And anytime I see that on a show or a movie, it's really hard to watch. Like I understand there's going to be a change, but we need more airtime with that. You can't just turn somebody that fast and hope we're just okay with it. So anyway.
All right, getting off of that, let's go to Robbie in Knoxville. Robbie said it's a little tough. Thoughts on the Vince McMahon allegations? Jesus. Thanks for whoever put these in there. I appreciate it. I wasn't surprised.
No.
Like, I wasn't surprised, and it makes his Mr. McMahon character that he put in the early 2000s. It makes it like, was that real? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not surprised. I'll say it that way. I don't really know what to say, how much to say without trying to get canceled. But I mean, I wasn't surprised, and it's sad, but it's great also because Vince is gone from the WWE. And I stopped watching.
Is he though?
You know what? I think so, because the content is so much better than it originally was when Vince was over it. Like, it used to be so damn goofy, and because the first time when he was like, "I'm going to retire," you could tell he still had his hand on somebody's shoulder, guiding them the way through the show. Mm-hmm. But now that actually he's like facing like possible jail time, and which I don't think he's not going to jail. I don't think he's going to get it.
They never go to jail.
They never go to jail unless you're like Todd and Julie Christie, you sell all that money. But he's not. Yeah, I mean, he's 80 years old. What's he going to spend another couple years? Yeah, at best.
I mean, look, I don't know why anybody's surprised. First of all, by any of these celebrities, rich people.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm never going to be surprised by any of this freak shit. Dudes from certain eras that are building entire empires hundreds of millions, billions of dollar corporations, and that's out here on cocaine and all that. That comes with a bundle of touching people you have no business touching. I'm just be honest with you. Dudes is out here possibly, allegedly, doing all kind of stuff. Don't be surprised. I mean, I don't know how old was Hugh Hefner when he passed. This is 80s probably.
I can confirm that, but I'm not too sure.
Okay, it's just again, when you come from a certain era and dudes is doing this, these dudes is so bold, it's outrageous. The only thing I'm gonna say, lastly,
shit.
I seen the text messages. That dude is a freak, man. He was talking thoroughly disgusting. I was like, oh my god.
Yes means yes, and no means yes. I thought that shit was crazy.
Dude was talking, bro. I was like, this guy's
he was like, I'm gonna pass you along because you need to be. I was like, whoa.
I was like, whoa. It's like, yo, that's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Listen, guys. We're only at the beginning of people getting exposed in the entertainment industry.
Yeah,
we're only like a couple years in. There's gonna be a whole lot more people.
Whole lot of people.
Hold on to y'all seats.
And some of them wouldn't surprise me if they were A-list right now.
Absolutely.
Hugh Hefner was 91. Holy shit.
Ooh. Okay.
And he still had active fingers. At 90 years old? Come on, man.
90 years. That's what I'm saying. And, I do with all kind of parties, man. It's crazy over there.
All right. Marcus in Philly. This is a question designated to you, Chase. And he wants to know, is the GMG podcast back in full swing, and is it coming to audio platforms soon?
Is it in full swing? Not necessarily. It's not like gone. It's just the thing is, I talk to Ricky and everybody like almost every day, like 4 or 5 plus days a week. Like he just texted me earlier. You're like when we going blah blah blah. We've been like making a lot of content together and stuff.
Right.
I really like doing the podcast. It's hard for me to talk about video games every week. Number one, this is why sometimes we ended up just doing live streams on Wednesdays. I'm gonna be honest. The podcast scene for video games over the last couple of years has been rough to watch, which is probably why they kind of need me to do the podcast again. There is way too much emphasis on the industry and less on video games. It wasn't always like that, but like we're at a point now where we'll talk about the podcast umbrella. So whoever's under that, me, whoever. You talk about video games for 5 minutes, and then you'll talk about the business of video games for 30. And it's just, it's really, I don't know, man. And this was before the Microsoft acquisitions and all that stuff. If you look at a lot of the podcasts, they're talking about MPDs and, like the corporate finances and a lot of stuff. I kind of wish guys would get back to talking more about games and stuff. I don't know what happened, man, but in my opinion, and there's a great, amazing video game podcast like Weapon Wheel and AGS, and there's Iron Lords. There's a bunch of like podcasts I really like. I'm just speaking. This is a general statement. But I do feel like there's been a opportunity for people who don't even play games to talk about video games, and they can sneak in there and do it because nobody's actually talking about, not nobody, but a lot of them aren't talking about video games.
Right.
Like I don't like there's people that don't play video games that have video game podcasts only in video game spaces.
How does that work?
Be tolerated. I don't know, bro.
How does that work?
They allow people who hide trophies. There's never a reason for you to hide a trophy. But
like I think it would be different if it's kind of like music reactions. You've never really listened to music in your life, and so you listen to it for the first time versus when you're like I think you can do that with video games. Like I've never been a gamer before, but I'm going to try this and let's play this game for the first time. Like that would work perfectly because that's what lots of people do. Right.
That's different than you sitting here every week or multiple times a week and speaking so matter-of-factly about something that you don't even know what you're talking about. But it can work for you because you're not covering the games itself. You're covering how the game was developed, bad work environments, deals and contracts and finances. It's like, yo, can I know about the Justice League game? Y'all dudes is talking about all this, can I know about the game? No, they're not going to do it because they don't play games. And these people on Twitter defend these people for doing this. The one guy said, I don't have time to play video games, but he does like 4 game podcasts a week. Why are you on here? Why do you have viewers?
Right.
Is it going to audio platforms? Possibly.
Okay. Well, Marcus and Philly, there's your answer. So no.
Answer, there you go. That's why we haven't done the podcast as much. We were really disappointed in the same.
It would be like Markiplier saying, "Let's do a movie podcast." Though all I do is play video games. Like what I mean?
Doing a sports podcast and you don't watch sports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me at all. But anyway, let's go to the next question. This is from Chase in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Do you guys prefer open world games more than platform games?
That's a good question.
Hey, that's a really good question because I think it depends on the game.
See, they wouldn't be able to answer this question in some of these other platforms. Right there. Y'all couldn't even ask them that.
Because they don't even know what either one are.
Yeah. Okay. It depends on the developer. In general, though, over the last few years, I've had open world fatigue.
Right.
And I've been having a harder time wanting to sit and commit to playing longer games as often. The open world games that are well made, I really love to play those because like you don't feel like time is wasted. You know what I'm saying? And we have several examples of those. Like there's a lot less of those. I got to do it. Ubisoft. Listen, I love working with them because they're really nice to work with. But for this, after the PS3, what they're doing with these open world games, this copy paste and giving the map busy work is the issue.
Yeah,
like you can't. It's just, and this is the and people say it's not copy paste. No, they literally copied the map from Far Cry 4 to Primal. They copied it and changed the assets to make it look like prehistoric, like the time period. So if you can give Lies of P, Elden Ring, Horizon,
right?
If you can do that, Zelda, thumbs up. But if I'm gonna get Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and several other The Last Saints Row games like that, those are not open world games. And honestly, I do really like at this point to be able to get on the game, play it, get through the chapters, and just get off. You know what I mean? Give me a little 8 to 12 hour game. I can play it, beat it, get off, and go to the next one. I don't have to spend 70 or 80 hours every time.
See, and I'm with you. It depends on the developer. And I think it does depend on the video game. Like, because you can't take a Zelda and make it a platformer. I mean, you could. It's probably not going to be any good because the story revolves around you traveling to these enchanted worlds. It's like because they tried to make Crash Bandicoot open world one time, and Jesus Christ, I mean that was the fall off of the originals. So
yeah,
but I have not played Avatar. I have not played that. It's not any good. It's not any good.
Dude. They got me the first hour. I thought it was gonna be like okay. After that, oh man.
Well, I don't have a PS5, so it's kind of hard for me to play any of the newer stuff.
They're all the games are on PS4. This generation, it's a waste.
Well, see, yeah,
the whole gen is on last gen except for like 2 games. Maybe.
See, I couldn't even play Spider-Man 2. I couldn't play the new Spider-Man.
That's not on PS4?
Nope.
You sure?
PS5 exclusive. It's gonna take them a while. Like it took me a while to play. Took me a while to play the Harry Potter Hogwarts because like 2 months later it came out on PS4 or something like that.
Now I love that game.
So that game was great. Look, a little long, but it was
long
really
for
good.
sure. I love that game.
See, I wish they can make open world, and the point with video games being over 100 hours to complete is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it feels like they're movies to me. Like they just keep getting longer and longer with the more praise they get. Like there is no point in making. I think they said Grand Theft Auto 6 was going to be around 85 plus hours.
Yeah.
To complete the story. That could end up biting them in the butt, because I know
I don't think it will.
Okay, you don't. You think they're trying?
They're the exception. Like some games don't feel that long, and then you look at your playtime and you're like, "Oh my goodness!" And there's other games you're like, "Man, how long have I been playing this?" Because it feels like you've been playing for 80, but you've been playing for 20. I honestly, the reason for these long games, the longer you're on the game, the more likely you are to spend money on the game. So if I make the game 150 hours and I have a store where you can buy skins and time savers, you know what I mean, or resource packs, you're probably going to spend money on there. That's probably why they got to keep. It's like a casino. I keep you in there for a long time. And there's games that don't that are long and don't have transactions, obviously, but the ones that are, that's why they call it user recurrent spending. By the way, the platform. I love platformers. We grew up on those. That's like how games started. That Mario Wonder, man, that Mario Wonder. Excellent. Oh my goodness.
That I want to talk about that later when it comes to best games last year. That was damn, dude. That game was excellent. But I felt I was going through your YouTube comments on some of your videos, and I thought this how is this coming is exactly how it was typed into the comment section. I just copy and pasted it, and it's from the Anime Blaze. And then we'll go, anyone know if Chase P.O. Box still good?
Yes. I can check it more than once every 2 months, but yeah, it is.
Okay. Getting back into the subject of wrestling here, at KB Jungled, they want to know, Dylan is a longtime wrestling fan. Chase, you've played a lot of WWE games. How big of fans are you of the sport? You want to take that one first?
You got it.
Okay. I've been a fan since I was 5 years old. That was the first time I ever watched wrestling. I got bullied a lot in school for it because of it. It called it doesn't matter. But I stopped watching it when I got into high school, and then kind of became a historian before then, and then kind of dropped off until AEW started. And then AEW just turned to fucking trash. So I don't even watch that no more. Like, if you have to entertain somebody by hitting someone with a light bulb, I ain't got time for your shit. Like you said, I can't. Like, yeah, like, man, they'll hit. Have you seen that David Arquette documentary where he was going to be a wrestler?
Is that why that movie came out?
That's why the movie came out.
I didn't know he had a documentary. I didn't know he was serious. He was serious?
No. The documentary is called Who Killed David Arquette or something like that. And he literally had a wrestling match. They hit him with a light bar like this. They hit him on the back of the neck, and it went and it slit and hit an artery, and he almost bled to death.
Whoa.
And I'm like, see, dude, this shit right here is just a waste of time, energy, and a waste of breath for that person on this earth if they have to come to that. But no, I'm more of a 90s, early 2000s. That's kind of where I grew up. So that's kind of my realm. Except for this new Rock and Roman shit. This is excellent.
So I loved wrestling, and then I stopped watching right after the Attitude Era. Right around there. I had a job and other interests, and I kind of just stopped watching it. So I always have very fond memories of there's that too. of wrestling and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't really watch it much.
Me neither,
kind of keep me posted a little bit on what's going on. But if if I was to look at the roster and stuff, I would not know most of those people on there.
Yeah.
There's just so many wrestlers, and you know what I mean. Without basically like all the brands being merged and all that kind of stuff, I just haven't really kept up with that. I do. I mean, what those guys do out there is crazy. It was never the this is fake, I'm not watching it anymore kind of thing, which happens to
a lot of people. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They like, oh, this is fake. It's just, I just kind of had other interests, and I started getting more into watching like basketball and football, and you know what I mean, and hanging out with friends and all that stuff, and just missing the wrestling when it was on. But
I remember I used to, and I still will. I don't think wrestling is fake. I don't use that, but I remember the first time I saw wrestling, it was like, holy shit, he really didn't hit him. Like, it was on TV. It was a match. It was CM Punk. I'm sure you know who that is.
Of course.
It was CM Punk and some other guy. And I remember the camera guy didn't pan away fast enough. And I seen CM Punk slap his thigh when it come to him. And I was like, shit, they were right. Like,
Yeah.
But, but yeah. All right. This comes from Brittany. There's no state or region. What are some of the best video games ever played? I'm assuming that we've ever played. I always say my top 2 games of all time are Crash Bandicoot, the original, and Far Cry 5. I love Far Cry 5. That's my favorite game of the series.
Really? 5?
Yeah. 5, yeah. I think it comes down to because that was the first Far Cry game I played.
You didn't play 3?
I have not played 3. I have not played 3. I played 4. I played all from whenever they started on the PS4, PS3, something like that is when I started to actually get into them.
PS4, because PS3 was. I didn't even know about Far Cry 1 and 2. I just kept seeing this ad on YouTube, and when all these guys on vacation looked really cool for 3, and I played that in 2012. I was a fan, turned me into a fan. Then I played basically all of them.
Yeah.
But I think you just had a thing. Everybody has a thing where your first experience is like, yo, this is amazing, and then somebody's like, man, you think that's amazing? All these are better. You're like, I don't know, I didn't play those. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you go back and you like, this is what happened when we on Saints Row. Saints Row 4 was my first one. And I was like, man, this is excellent. And then it's like, you like that trash? I was like, it was good to me. And when I played the second one, I was like, oh, I see what y'all mean now.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But yeah, Far Cry 5, Crash Bandicoot, obviously. Probably the Spyros. I enjoyed those as a kid. Those are open world platforms that are done good, the Spyro games. They're very hard, but they're good. What about you?
I mean, we could be here. I could easily say like
we could be here all day. Yeah,
100. I could easily.
Yeah.
What comes to mind like instantly? San Andreas.
Okay.
Arkham Asylum or Arkham City. I'm not going to really do any recent games. We'll go back to like PS3 and before that. Metal Gear 3.
Now, you said Arkham City. Do you think Arkham City is better than Arkham Asylum? Because I'm the other way around. I like Arkham Asylum over Arkham City.
I love them both. I give a slight edge to Arkham City because I like the environment more.
No, that's fair enough. I understand why.
I maybe one more. What I got on my shelf over here?
Yours is the
God of War 3.
Okay. And if we're gonna put new one in there, I know you didn't. I'm gonna put the Marvel Spider-Man that came out PS4. That was game-changing video game in my opinion.
Wait till you play that. Wait, boy, that second one, man.
You know what? I have watched your entire catalog of the Spider-Man 2 because I love the first so much. I was like, I just have to see what this one's about, and I was like, son of a bitch. Like, I was like, I am missing out.
And you still have a lot that you're going to see because when I do my series, I don't typically show side content. they have
I heard the
really
side
good.
missions are just as good as the story missions.
They are.
Okay.
Not all of them, but a lot of them are really, and they have entire arcs too. I don't want to spoil anything for you because you already watched it. But I'm telling you.
So do you think Spider-Man 3? Because I think they've already announced it, haven't they? They're already making it, or they're in pre-production.
I don't know. I feel like that the minute we go out and spend and we buy a game and it does well, they've already announced it, the next one in their minds. So I think there is a third one, but it was in the leaks. It was in the leaks. They didn't announce it. Insomniac leaks had it in there, I believe.
Do you think it's going? Because obviously we know what happens at the end of Spider-Man 2. Do you think Spider-Man 3 is going to go the way we think it's going to go with the introduction of Green Goblin?
It has to. They typically do that.
Okay.
I mean, they have so many possibilities. There's like little Easter eggs and stuff in side quests. They can go any direction, but I do.
Okay. All right. We got just a few more questions here, Chase, and we'll get you off here. Okay. Then we have to do our top 3 games. This one is apparently strictly for me. Let's see what they put on here. Do you plan to have the other GMG gang on the show? If they want to be a guest, sure.
I can ask Ricky for you.
Yeah, Trey and Ricky. I enjoy those guys. They're funny to me. Sure. Whichever. All right, this one's for both of us. Here we go. Chester in Mississippi wants to know if you could pick one game that changed your life, what would it be? Oh. Jesus.
That's a great question. My answer is going to be surprising.
Okay. What's your answer?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I think I still have to think.
Okay. All right. I hate this game. Okay.
Okay.
Right now, today, I hate what happened to this game. I think this game has been terrible for the industry. Okay. However, this was like my first real consistent multiplayer shooter experience. And it is what made me discover YouTube. Because I was trying to learn how to play the game. And then it made me start my YouTube channel. And it is Call of Duty.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. I mean, I will always have a very soft spot for that game historically because of what I just said. But where the game is today is not in a good place. I'm not a Warzone player. I'm sure people that play Warzone love that. I'm talking about multiplayer. But yeah, Call of Duty. It's literally what got me really, really into online games, and it really is the reason I've started a YouTube channel.
I think my answer could be shocking to some, but probably not to most. It's not Crash Bandicoot. It's not Spyro, but it is a game that came out in '97, and it's on the Nintendo 64. Okay. I started playing it in middle school, and this is the same reason I found YouTube, was because of how the hell do I get past this first level? It was Star Fox 64.
Oh my God. You can get past the first level?
Well, it may not have been the first level. I don't remember, but it was
how old were you?
I was 8, 9, maybe.
8, yeah, okay.
Something like that. 8, 9, 10. But man, Star Fox 64, that goes down as one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. I love that game. That game is, and I think it's superior to the other Star Fox games.
It's the only one I actually owned, played, and beat because I had it in 64. My sister had a GameCube, and I just borrowed it a little bit and played like Paper Mario. But yeah, that's the only one.
Now, do you enjoy more a Nintendo 64 or a GameCube? Because I owned a Nintendo 64. We got it at a thrift store, and my cousin owned a GameCube. And I remember going and playing. That was the first time I ever played. I was around the same time. First time I ever played Zelda. And I'm trying to remember what game it was. I don't remember what Zelda game it was.
Was it Zelda or Legend of Zelda? Because typically those are a little bit different in the game design.
Let me see.
It was probably Zelda. Because Legend of Zelda is Majora's Mask and
okay, it was Ocarina of Time.
So it's the Legend of Zelda, right?
Yeah.
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 That Ocarina of Time. See, that's a perfect example of the open world stuff that we were talking about. phenomenal game,
Yeah.
dude. I don't know if I ever told this story. This is before YouTube and all that stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We had to get all our little tips from like game facts and little forums or whatever, and there'd be a lot of like fake codes and cheats. You go home and try and they won't work. Dude, I beat the whole Ocarina of Time like 2 or 3 times. And my friend that used to live around the corner was like, "Yo, did you ever get the fire arrows?" I'm like, "There's no fire arrows in the game. I beat this 3 times." He's like, "There is." So I'm like, "No, there's not." He said, "You have to take your bow and shoot it at the sun." I said, "Man, that's not gonna work." And I did it. I had no idea that was in the game.
Yeah. I remember when you would have to go. This shows how much younger than I just turned 26, so I'm pretty sure I'm significantly younger than most people expect. Probably not, but the book fair used to have like the big giant ass thick books of like game cheat codes. And I remember you would buy those for like the SmackDown versus Raws back in the day, or like Crash Bandicoot. I did not know that there was a cheat code where you could become immortal the entire game.
I never knew about that.
See, I didn't either till I was like, wow, this is a game changer. All right, so here we go. We're at this one, and this is actually a question, and this is where we're going to incorporate top 3 games of the year last year, 2023. That's coming from Johnny Ace. Hey, I hope that's not the same Johnny Ace that got in trouble with Vince McMahon. All right.
Ooh.
You want me to go first? You want to go first? How you want to do this?
Right.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm going to go 3-1. Oh. 3. I did not play a lot of games last year, so these answers are going to be kind of funny to a lot of people. 3, I'm going to put Hogwarts Legacy at 3. Because number 1, yeah, because I enjoyed number 1 way more than 1 and 2 more than these. Hogwarts Legacy, excellent, phenomenal job. It was they had a like they knew where they were going with it, and they stuck the pin in it. They knew where they wanted to go with it from the beginning to the middle to the end, and they just worked their way that way. The magic is excellent in it. The traveling is excellent with it. The villain is actually surprisingly well done, which I was nervous that the villain was not going to be up to par. But yeah, number 3 is Hogwarts Legacy for me.
You going all the way, or you want me to do?
No, you're going number 3 now.
Alternate.
Yeah. We'll alternate.
All right. I just want to say, I want to make sure there's a distinction. Excuse me, between best and favorite. I'm going to say my favorite 3.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily saying these games are the best. These are my favorite 3. All right, and okay. I'm going in no order. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, last year was so tough. There was literally like
I know
30. There was that's the best. That's the best year I've ever seen. I'm talking about
really.
Consistently.
Okay.
That's not even close. That many games.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, yes, 2013 was crazy, but there wasn't 30 games. All right.
It's Cyberpunk 2077 Part 2, right?
The Liberty DLC, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to play that yet.
I'm not going to. So
I'm playing that.
Are you really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Look, the original game, I told people never to buy the game. Well, I told people not to buy it until they fixed it because it was garbage.
That was the first game I ever got my money back with. Like, because I remember the developers were like, "Hey, we're gonna start giving your money back." So like, you had to send a receipt, and I was like, "Fuck this game!" It was like 80. I paid like $100 for the game.
The problem with the game, it was an amazing game, but the condition that it came out totally disrespectful, and it shouldn't have been sold. But if you want to revisit. Well, I don't know if you want to play any upworld games, just like we talked about. But that's one of those upworld games. They did a good job.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Uh, shoot.
Okay.
Oh,
You,
Liza P. Liza
oh,
P.
okay. I
Liza
did
P.
not play that. I don't know if it's any good or not.
Listen, you like Souls games?
I've never played those, man. I have never. I told you I'm so
None?
picky when it comes to video games.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay. It is one of those.
Okay.
For people trying to get into the Souls genre, it's probably one of the better ones to play. It's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more it's a lot more forgiving, and they kind of remedy some of the quality of life stuff from the other Souls games. And the story's actually halfway decent. Let's be honest. Nobody plays Souls games for the story. They put the story in there, but
Mm-hmm.
nobody really knows what's going on. You find yourself on wikis and YouTube videos trying to figure it out. But I really, really like that game, man. They like everything that they were trying to do in terms of a Souls experience. They hit. And the thing about that game is while you will have some struggles with the bosses, you might fight a boss for an hour, whatever, 2 hours, I don't know. The whole time though, you're like, yo, I know I could beat this dude. You know what I'm saying? You might get frustrated or whatever. And I really like the ending. There's a little special scene at the end that tells me there's hopefully a good sequel. I don't know, man. I had a great time playing that game. So that's my sleeper, like one of my sleepers last year.
Okay.
Liza P. It's on Game Pass.
Okay. I'm going to do what you're doing. I'm going to go out of order and just say best because, or sorry, favorite, not best.
Yeah.
Favorite. Mario Wonder is going to be number 2. This game was excellent, man. It reminded me of the old time, like the old Mario parties. Do you remember those from like the early 2000s?
Yes.
This is exactly what it reminded me of. It's one of those where, and I don't want to keep bringing Crash into this, but it kind of reminds me of that space where you have a breathing level. Like you go to the hardest level, and then the next level is like a breather, easy. You can breeze through it. Then the next one is just screaming your head off, while the next one's like, okay, it's a little tough, versus this one's crazy easy. Like, I think if you've never played a Mario game, this one and Odyssey are probably the first 2 that I would play if you've never played one to introduce yourself into them. They're very. I mean, this game is great. I loved it a lot.
That level design
It's
It's
phenomenal.
just magical. I don't even know how else to say it. Like level design, they're like geniuses. There's something about specifically Nintendo's platforming level design you can't really get anywhere else. Not that you need it. Just I don't know, man. It's like they've taken like their 30 plus years of Mario games.
Yeah.
Show every time they put a Mario game out, you can see how long they've been doing it. And that's not, you can't say that about every game. You know what I mean? There's games that are decades old that don't feel like they've put together their decades of experience and all their just genius into it. But that game, man, it's just fun. And
it's
the badges, like even the badge system where you can give yourself like a little perk. You know what I mean? I don't know how to say it. The game is really, it's a special game.
I don't know why I do this, but I get nervous every time they release a new Mario game. But then I don't know why I do, because I know that they'll never put them out until they're 150% ready.
Have you ever played a bad Mario game? The only misstep they had was like Mario 2. And we're talking Super Nintendo. Like, and it wasn't a bad game. It was slightly off. I never played a bad Mario game.
Bad Mario game? No. There are some that I dislike. Like, I'm not a big fan of Paper Mario. Everybody loves Paper Mario.
You don't like it?
I'm not that big of a fan. It's designed odd. I don't know. But no, I've never played a bad Mario game.
It's probably the most consistent video game.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. All the Mario cinematic universe, like the Yoshi games are good. The Kirby games are good. The Donkey Kong games are excellent as well.
Did you see what is it, Mario versus Donkey Kong? Did you see that game?
Whoa, is it out already?
It's out now. It's basically, I don't know if people know the old, because Nintendo likes to make spinoffs and then they become big brands.
Yeah.
The Donkey Kong used to be like this evil, you
throw barrels. Yeah, you'd have.
So they have that now on the Switch. It's a new game like that. Peach has a new game coming out.
Okay.
Anyway, Nintendo, they're really Very consistent. Number 2 for me. I mean, I'll go Hogwarts. I'll go
Okay.
Hogwarts.
Okay.
I love the game. What the game did for me though is it's really hard to do this. It made me feel the way I felt the first time I watched the Harry Potter movie.
Okay.
Like, dude, I'm telling you, when I walked and seen the staircase, I lost my mind, bro. Because it's just attention to detail. You're walking around the school. You got like mannequins talking to each other and destroying each other and ghosts flying all around. That is probably one of the best possible outcomes for them to try to adapt the environment of a world into a video game. I don't know how much more they could have done.
Yeah.
The game did have some things that I wish they would have done differently. Obviously, using the unforgivable curses.
Yeah.
I mean, you learn them, but like there's no commentary when you use it. They just kind of treat it like an afterthought. The house competition is not like really a part of the game. I kind of wish it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big part of the story, especially in the first game. And there's some other things, there's some stuff I would have preferred. I was trying to go for the platinum trophy. It's like 1,000 collectibles. They're not numbered. This is like, I'm nitpicking. They're not numbered. So it made it hard for me to know which ones I had and which ones I didn't. I kind of wish they would have had a little bit slightly different system for that. Other than that, though, I mean, I love the game. And one of the things that always gets overlooked is when there's a game that's so good, but they have room for improvement and you can be excited because sometimes games are so good that you don't know how they're going to do better.
Mm-hmm.
Hogwarts is one of those games that's phenomenal. Like, I see opportunities for them to have an improvement and have it even top this one. So I'm looking forward. They already got greenlit for a sequel, like right after the first 2 weeks of release.
See, here's where, and I wish I would have said this in my Harry Potter thing, but I'll say it in yours. I wish I would have had that feeling like you had when you seen the staircase and you got all giddy like a 2-year-old, because I was growing up. I grew up in a strong, I was not allowed to play cards, watch Harry Potter, none of that, because it was considered witchcraft and it was considered ungodly. And just last year I watched the entire Harry Potter series, and it's great. It wasn't like the Star Wars where they didn't really hold up as much people say they did, but the Harry Potters hold up to.
They do.
Like, and I've seen them multiple times since then. Like, I will put those on as like dead air filler.
I love those movies.
But so when I had it, I had just seen the movies, so it was kind of like, But I wish I would have had that feeling of, man, this brings me back to being a kid. But my favorite game last year brings me back to being a kid, and that is Tears of the Kingdom, Legend of Zelda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was. I don't think it's better than Breath of the Wild.
I get that. I hear that a lot. Like, people love it, but it's not.
No, I loved it. It's not as good as Breath of the Wild because it's. Chase, I play games on easy. Okay, I play it for fucking beginners. I'm like a 2-year-old when it comes to games. Because if you give me a game, then I can't play. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going. If I can't,
stay away from Souls games.
I'm not going to do it.
Away.
I can't do it. But I seen you were playing a new WWE game on Legendary. That's something I would never do because those shit's hard.
They cheat.
They cheat. Yeah, man. Tears of the Kingdom it's beautiful. It has everything you want in a Zelda game. Like, they bring back a couple of things that they did not bring into Tears of the Breath of the Wild. So if you haven't played that, I recommend playing the Kingdom. It's long. And it's kind of, there are some points where it's like ridiculous hard, where you're like, it's like, what, like, especially when you have to find like the stupid ass spells where you have to, where you have to make soups and shit. You're like, how are you supposed to know when you're supposed to? But there's that ridiculous part of the Zeldas, but that makes me love it even more because we know it's that ridiculous. But yeah, man, Tears of the Kingdom is excellent.
Okay. I had to like pull up a list because there was so many.
Yeah, I know. I did. That's what I'm here looking at.
What did
You're
I
gonna
ended
go
up not
with,
getting a chance to play Baldur's Gate.
okay.
People were like, "Oh, I did not get a chance to play that. I had picked like Lies of P instead or something to play."
You're gonna go with SpongeBob, right?
No, I really like that
No.
game though.
It had a good game. I liked it too.
You beat it? Yeah,
Yeah, it was
game is
easy as
fun.
hell. I mean, it was
Yeah.
because that. Let me tell you something. That battle for Bikini Bottom, that shit is tough, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's way easier than that one.
Way easier. Way easier.
I mean, I could go Spider-Man. I feel like that's low-hanging fruit.
Okay, I thought that's where you were gonna go, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably where I'll go. I mean, I'm looking.
Because
Alan
it's
Wake
a
2, I really
bet.
enjoyed it. Yeah, I like the Dead Space remake, Resident Evil remake. Just, these are all easy. I did not Starfield. I was like, I'll play that later. I was not pressed to play it again. I ended up playing Lies of P instead. I'm gonna go Spider-Man.
Okay.
I'm gonna play Baldur's Gate eventually. But I can only play one open world game at a time. You know what I mean? I can't really do 2 and 3 of those. And then I need like a little break in between. Yeah, Spider-Man. I mean, I don't even know what could be said about that. Like games nuts. And again, you can play the game, beat it in 12 hours. I know some people don't think that's enough time. Me personally, I don't really need 1,000 hours every time I'm playing a game. In fact, I prefer short games sometimes.
As long as you can tell the story in 12 hours, I'm perfectly fine with it. Because there are
sure.
like God of War. I don't think you could tell that story in 10 hours. I think that does deserve of a 50+ hour game because there's so much story and content and background behind it.
Right.
So
right. I don't know, one question.
Yeah.
Do you have any games that were a disappointment? Did you have any? Because last year was so good. You'd be hard pressed to find that.
Last year, let me see.
They were not happy about that Pokemon. That was the first time I ever seen Pokemon get in trouble with fans.
I've never played Pokemon. Like I've never. No, I was not allowed. It was like Harry Potter.
I know you said you weren't allowed. Well, those games are a little addicting. Like those are the games you get on. You're like, hey, I'll just play for 20 minutes. Like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I got one.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed, Mirage.
Okay.
Them boys are killing me, man. Ubisoft is absolutely killing me. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan, even though, for the last 8 years, they ain't really been hitting like that. Origins dead. Odyssey, I really like Odyssey too. It's a little long.
I'm gonna say, and it's just because, again, I didn't play many games, but this game I played, and I love the first one. The second one was really goofy. It was good the first half, and after that it fell off. Was Dead Island 2? Did you ever play that?
I beat that one. I did a series on Dead Island 2.
Okay.
I'm a Dying Light person. Well, Dying Light 1. The second one, no.
The second one's not good. First one is
excellent. Hard to go from beating zombies with parkour to just killing zombies. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't have enough cool like little zombie bosses and stuff on. I really like how as you dismantle the zombie, all the physics with all the body parts flying and all, that was well made. But there's something missing.
Hang on a minute. When did this game come out? And if this game come out last year, that's number one for sure. Let me find out. Damn, it came out 2020. Never mind. I played it last year. Was the Fast and Furious that Crossroads?
Oh, dude, that game is trash.
Because I like the movies. I really like the movies, even the newer ones. But I was like, okay. Dude, the racing on it is terrible.
I'm ass at driving. I know that, but that mechanics on there are poop.
Yeah.
You bought that?
Maybe so. Maybe I did. Maybe I did.
It's not available for purchase anymore on any platform.
Yeah, they are. Walmart got it. PS4. That's where I got it.
Is it on a store? I'm saying if you go to buy that right now, it's on the store.
At Walmart, yeah.
Oh no, it's on the digital store.
Oh, I don't know. I don't buy games. I buy physical copies.
Okay, yeah, because I did a video and I was playing bad games, and that was one of the games on there.
So that's not on a Play Store anywhere.
I didn't see it
Like,
on there. I
online to
tried
get
to
it?
buy it on PlayStation. Wasn't there. I tried to buy it on Steam. Maybe I didn't look on PlayStation. Maybe it was just Steam, but
Is
it's
it
not
that
on
bad?
Steam.
So it's considered that bad. They just like take the shit off.
I guess, man. That game. And Steam got some. Look, Steam got some 0 out of 10 games for sale. So I don't know what made them not have that on there anymore. It used to be on there. It's not. I'm telling you, that game is. It's just boring. It's all hell. And
yeah,
oh,
yeah. But yeah. Dead Island 2 would be mine, and then if we had a something, it would be that Fast and Furious that I bought. But yeah. But I do got one question for you, me personally, and that'll be it. And it is, if you could describe yourself in one word, Chase, what would that word be?
oh my. Hard question. Goofy. I don't.
Okay.
Go with that, I guess.
Okay. Well, dude, thanks for coming back on, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
And I know this was kind of, just not. It wasn't really thrown together. I'm sure it feels like it, but just because we're in March, and I'm like, no, what? Because 30,000 people have already done their best of everything of last year. So, but yeah, man, appreciate it. We'll get you back on next year, later this year, or something. If something comes up, or if you got any ideas you want to do, then we'll do that. But yeah, man, thanks for doing it.
Yes, sir. Anytime. You know that.
All right, brother. Thank you. Have a good one, man.
Okay. See you later.
All right.